to the kingdom. Cheers. A toast to the king.
You elect will drink wine new with Yahweh Shai. You elect. As of right now, we say hopeful elect. You elect of Israel out there will drink wine new with our Lord Yahweh Shai in his Father's kingdom, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven here on this planet Earth once Yahweh Shai returns. When our Lord comes back, one of the first things he's going to do is have his men. He's going to have a toast with his men, those that stood stiffly for his name and his Father's name. Let's read this one more time. Matthew chapter 26, verse 29. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, which is wine, which is made from grapes, as you know. And our Lord, he loves to drink, man. That's something that our Lord took pleasure in when he was here on this planet Earth. He's not going to do it anymore until he returns to do it with you, showing just how much he loves his elect. He's not going to drink till he. I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. So what a moment that's going to be, man. And you can only imagine the quality of wine that's going to be. Our Lord Yahweh Shai, he has access to different things that we don't even know about, man. Access to different grapes you don't know about. Has access to an entirely different quality of life that we don't know about. But he's going to reveal it to you. He's going to give it to you when he returns. Now, you have what's called a loyal toast. A loyal toast. I'm going to read this real quick. A loyal toast is a salute given to the sovereign monarch or head of state of the country in which a formal gathering is given. In this case, the sovereign monarch or head of state would be Yahweh Shai. He's our sovereign monarch. He controls everything, man. But guess what? He's also going to extend that power to you elect. He's going to share that power with you. A loyal toast is a salute given to the sovereign monarch or head of state of the country in which a formal gathering is given, or by expatriates of that country, whether or not the particular head of state is present. In this case, the Lord will be present. So you're not going to have someone speaking for him giving a toast. He's going to host the toast. He's going to be there, man. We're living in a time we're going to meet Yahweh Shai. You're going to meet him face to face, which is proof also that we have to be changed. We can't meet the Lord like this. He's going to change you. He's going to crown you, and he's going to toast with you. Now let's read some more. It says, it is usually a matter of protocol at state and military occasions and a display of patriotic sentiment at civilian events. The toast is usually initiated and recited by the host, which will be Yahweh Shai, before being repeated by the assembled guests in unison.
To the kingdom. Cheers.
Sometimes when Akim are among each other, we'll do little small toasts. Brothers may be like La Yashirala, holding up cups. But imagine the Lord himself hosting it, man. And we join in. And I was reading something else, and pretty much they said in order to have what they call a loyal toast, you will use wine. That's the beverage of choice. And once again, our Lord, he's coming back, and we're going to see him with all that power, man. But he's going to extend that power to you. Now, reading on a monarch, it says a monarch is a head of state for life or until abdication, in this case for life. And therefore, the head of state of a monarch may exercise the highest authority and power in the state. Or others may wield that power on behalf of the monarch. And that will be you joint heirs. You different men that are going to reign with the Lord, man. Usually a monarch either personally inherits the lawful right to exercise the state's sovereign rights, often referred to as the throne or crown, or is selected by an established process from a family or cohort eligible to provide the nation's monarch. In this case, the Heavenly Father Yahweh himself selected his son Yahushua. And once again, when our Lord returns, he's going to wield that power to you elect as well. Once again, he's going to change you. He's going to crown you. And he's going to have a toast with you. A kingly toast.
To the kingdom. Cheers. A toast with the king. Raise your glasses, my friends. A toast with the king. A toast with the king. Raise your goblets, everyone. A toast to a prosperous future. To the king. To our glorious future. To the victors, blow the spoils. Raise your glasses. Cheers. Raise your chalices to the golden age of our kingdom. A toast to the king.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashum, Yahweh Shah, Bahashum, Kapadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful that got there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shah, pushing and get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right, and what I want to go into today, this morning, dealing with morning news and prophecy. All right, the stage is being set for a major shift. Okay, a stage is being set for a major shift, man. Because this devil, in order to, make a lot of progress in a short time, he has to cause certain events to happen. All right, that's not normal. Okay, what they call black swan events. Okay, but he needs something to happen. Okay, he has to make something happen that puts, people in crisis mode. Okay, where he's able, to forward this new world order agenda, where he's able to implement things that in normal circumstances he wouldn't be able to implement. All right. So what we're seeing happen is a stage being set, all right, for this devil to make a move, for war, for persecution of the prophets, okay, persecution, okay, of the believers, all right, for this devil to be able to implement, more technology into society, all right, under the banner of safety, okay, to implement, a new currency under the banner of prosperity, so for this devil, because he got a lot of agendas, man. Okay, and to pull these things off, to be able to speedily implement these things, he's going to have to cause things to happen, events to happen. Okay, and we're seeing this man telegraphing as if he's getting ready to do an event. Okay, so I got a few videos lined up, but before we get there, let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12. Okay, and just read into it. Now, this is Revelation 12 and 11. All right, and this is speaking of the believers, man. It says, and they overcame and conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb. You see, Yahweh Shai already has given us the victory, man. So we're in the beautiful position to see this devil scramble and try to pull this off, knowing that he loses, man. Okay, and you really look into what this devil got going on. He's set up for failure. This devil got a lot to do in a short time, man. Okay, this man is set up for complete failure, man. Like the scriptures say, he's set in slippery places, man. Okay, this man has a lot that he has to try to pull off in a short time, man. Okay, and we have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, and part of their testimony is Yahweh Shai coming back and getting the victory, man. And belief in that gives us the victory, man, because Esau has no true power. Okay, Esau is a simulation of the Most High. Okay, to the elect. All right, now everyone is outside of the elect. This devil has authority over, man. But the elect, this nigga don't got no power. Okay, so victory, faith in that victory. Okay, that's coming with Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to push us to overcome. All right, in these trying times, it says because of the word of their testimony, for they did not love their life and renounce, okay, their faith even when faced with death, man. And this is why now the Lord has us constantly hating this world more and more. Okay, it has us drawn from this world more and more. All right, we're not in love with our life in this world. Okay, we're not in love with a salary or a situation that we're in. We're not in love with these things, man. We look forward to the coming of Yahweh Shai, man, when we really begin to live. Okay, we're looking forward to a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. New heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. So we have expectations beyond any current situation that we're in right now, man. Okay, and death doesn't deter that. If we're of the elect, and it's meant for us, to take the death, whether we're going to have a spirit to endure that, man. Okay, so verse 12 it says, therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you that dwell in them, in the presence of the Most High. Yeah, because and we're an extension of the heavens. You see, we're waiting, all right, for the Lord's will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. You see, we're operating on the wisdom from the heavens. You see, everyone else is operating on the wisdom from this world. Esau, AI, and all this, fascism, capitalism, and democracy, Christianity, and you see, that's of this world. See, we're operating on the wisdom from the heavens. Okay, you see, because of the believers, the saints, beginning with those men, the prophets. Okay, they're an extension of the heavens. You see, so it says, therefore rejoice, O ye heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the earth and to the sea, because the devil has come down to you in great wrath. Okay, so you people of the earth, okay, that doesn't have the hedge of the elect, woe to the earth and to the sea, man. This man is about to lose it, because he has, matter of fact, I finished reading it, said, woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you in great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time remaining. Okay, see, this devil is subjugated to time. All right, and that's why he knows he has a window to try to pull this off, man. Okay, and one thing about it, when time is short, what happens? You get frustrated. Okay, you get reckless. You see, and this is the mode that this devil is sliding into, man. Frustration and recklessness, man, because he has a short time remaining. The clock, Esau's on the clock. All right, the fact that he's, you know, has to deal with time. You see, we're just waiting on forever to start. We have a great position in this, man. We're just waiting on forever to start. This nigga's trying to conquer time. You see, a hell of a task, man. And he's nowhere near it. Okay, he pushed these pictures. He puts it off like he's just this nigga ain't nowhere near it, man. Okay, he's gonna fall far short. Okay, you see, he just gonna throw that Hail Mary, man. Okay, so let's get this, and then we finna we'll segue. Yep, brother got that. We'll segue to this video. So yeah, this is let me go here. This is the book of Sirach 37-25, and it says the days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable. Okay, you see these heathens. All right, they've had rulerships, but they all been numbered. All right, the beginning and the end. Okay, only Israel has a kingdom that's promised to never end. So time is not going to be a factor to us. Time is not a factor to us now. Okay, because we're putting off that mortal mindset and putting on the immortal. Time is not a factor to us. It's a factor to Esau. Okay, now of course, in your day-to-day, you got to manage your time. Okay, but in the spirit, the bigger picture of what's going on according to prophecy, okay, we're right on cue. Everything is right on cue for us, man. You see, but this devil, he's fighting against time. Okay, that's why he's daylight saving, and all he trying to play with the time. It ain't working. Days are going faster. You see, so the Most High got this nigga on the shot clock, man. Okay, and he just gonna throw something up. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's get this. I think the brother posted something. Yep. So this the brother Israel. All right, Israelites United. One last time, 2nd Ezra 6-9. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Man, so we're at the end of this man's age. Okay, and this devil has so much to try to check off. Okay, to try to get done to establish his new world order, man. Okay, and like I say, he just gonna have to throw it together, man. It's gonna be a very tacky transition, man. Okay, it's gonna be extremely tacky how this man try to throw this together. Okay, so what we see now is this devil, with these New Year Eves, cancellations, and he supposedly caught some guys that was planning to do, some terrorist attack in LA. Okay, so they supposedly got him, and you see, but this devil, more than likely he's telegraphing for, a staged event. Okay, and the thing is, it's going to be something massive, to where he can put, all right, America, all right, in crisis mode. Okay, because see, with the New World Order, America is the last chess piece that needs to be modified into this New World Order. Okay, so prepare, for the elites to put emphasis on weakening the American society. That's why the dollar, okay, is being devalued, okay, because the elites are at war, and they've escalated their war with the American people, okay. That's why your rights and your constitution is going to be shredded up, okay, because that's all of the old world. You see, America was a project, all right, and it has accomplished, all right, what the elites wanted them to accomplish. They put the world in debt with the American dollar. Okay, they stole most of the resources in the earth through the American military. Okay, they've enchanted, all right, the world, through American culture, which is anti-Messiah. Okay, so now it's time for America to be dismantled to fit into the new world order. Okay, and this is what we're witnessing real time. So we're gonna play this, man. It seems like these devils, could be telegraphing, for a staged event. All right, so order out of chaos situation. But we'll see. We're just watching these things. We'll see. So let's play this and touch on a few things that he's going to speak on in this video.
The American people should be on high alert, especially over the next week. That's not coming from me. That is what the Pentagon is saying. Now, I want to show you some very interesting but scary things that are happening right now. All these things are actually putting more pressure on us here in the United States and abroad as well. Right now, it looks like the United States is the target. Look at this. It says China announces war games around Taiwan after hitting out at major U.S. arms deal. If you don't know what happened, China sanctioned some major U.S. companies, Boeing being one of them. There are many companies that are very upset that China did this. And the reason for it is simply because the United States is letting or selling weapons to Taiwan so that Taiwan can protect themselves against China. Well, guess what? From China's perspective, that puts the United States in their crosshairs. But that is not the only country that has the United States in its crosshairs. Look at this. It says, Iranian president says his country is at total war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. That article is just from 2 days ago. That should be very concerning, that Iran is at a total war with the West, but it doesn't stop there. Look what President Trump just did and announced. It says President Trump claims U.S. strike on a big facility inside of Venezuela. That is what he told us just the other day, that his administration was able to strike a big facility inside of Venezuela. That puts more pressure on us here in the United States. And I said this before. We know here in the United States, there are sleeper cells, okay, where Iran has certain groups here in the United States that are just waiting to do us harm. That is Iran. China, according to reports, does have some of these as well. And this is even bigger, they also have access to some of our infrastructure, which they've been able to hack into over the past several decades. So we know that as well. We also know that Tren de Aragua, okay, a Venezuelan prison gang, they're here in the United States. Some of their main cities are Chicago and New York and Denver, okay? But they've been able to create other hubs around the United States as well. So that puts more pressure on us as well. And that is, according to officials at the Pentagon, causing them to be on high alert. And then there's this, okay? President Trump.
So what you have, by them pushing these narratives, dealing with China, doing war games, okay, Iran declaring war, all right, on the West, which they've been at war with the West for decades, okay? So they've been at war through sanctions, through actual, through proxies, all right, and through, going head to head. You know, they've already been at war. Okay, this is nothing new. They're just announcing something that's already happening. Okay, duh. Okay, yes, Iran is at war with the West. Hell yeah. Okay, it's been going on for decades. But what they're able to do when they push these narratives, okay, they're setting up scapegoats. So now if something happened, they can blame, Chinese sleeper cells, Iranian sleeper cells, okay, South, South American cartels from Venezuela, and they're just setting it up to where they got scapegoats, to something that they can have, all right, staged to happen. Okay, so now they putting all these narratives out there so they can have a scapegoat. See, like we told y'all, so he's just telegraphing, man. Okay, this is how this devil gets down. You see, with his psyops, man. So we'll see. All right. Then this whole thing with Zelensky. I'm gonna let him speak on Zelensky for a minute, and then they got to throw Russia in the mix. So since Trump, gave the security guarantee to Zelensky, well, now Russia sleeper cells are retaliate. So they just got all type of scapegoats out there. All right, they can blame for something that they got staged already, man. Okay, so let's play this.
Just the other day, offered a 15-year security guarantee for President Zelensky and Ukraine. So, just then, this is where things get interesting. President Trump offers a security guarantee to Ukraine, who's currently going up against Russia. Okay, look at this. It says, the Kremlin agreed Monday with the U.S. president's assessment that talks to end Russia's war were in the final stage after his meeting with Ukraine's leader in Florida. Okay, this happened just yesterday. But here's what's interesting about this. President Trump offered a 15-year security guarantee. So does that mean the United States and Russia could be going at it very soon? That's the problem. And that's, again, why multiple officials say that we should be on high alert. But then there's this, okay? And I talked about this the other day. Public safety concerns are leading to cancellations of major New Year's Eve events. It says Paris, Tokyo, and Belgrade called off events following the FBI bust of alleged LA bombing plot. Okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, let me play you this clip.
The FBI arresting 4 alleged members of a far-left, pro-Palestinian, anti-government, and anti-capitalist group accused of plotting New Year's Eve bombings, targeting at least 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. First, Assistant U.S. Attorney.
And pay attention, to the devil's language, when they're going into these news reports. Because what do they say? Anti-government. Okay? Anti-government groups. You see? And it's going to be easy, all right, for him to link the doctrine to anti-government. Okay? So he's setting the stage up for persecution as well. All right? So you pay attention to what these people are saying, what's on repeat. That's the main thing to pay attention to what's on repeat, and how conveniently, they just captured these 4. All right, these 4 women look like, okay, they were just plotting, okay, about doing tea attacks on New Year's. Okay, so let's play some more.
For the Central District of California, Bill Asaley joins us now. Bill, thanks so much for joining the program. A great operation by the men and women of the United States government. Tell us about the plans of these terrorists. Who are they going after?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this is an anti-government that you call them communists or anti-capitalists. So they had a plan on New Year's Eve to attack at least 5 locations throughout Southern California and Los Angeles and Orange County. They wanted to start with logistic warehouses, think like Amazon type facilities, really strike at the heart of commerce. And from there, they had plans to also attack ICE agents and ICE vehicles to dissuade them from doing immigration enforcement. So they had various ambitions, but what is unique to them is they do encourage political violence and they discourage peaceful protesting.
So I want to show our audience a few things right now. This is the testing site that, you know, they planned this and coordinated, and they actually had, and you guys were able to surveillance this for a period of time.
Oh, there you go. So they stopped, and that's the play. They stopped the potential terrorist attack through surveillance. Okay? The only thing that was between, all right, you know, people being hurt, okay, was surveillance technology. So what are they going to push for? More surveillance. If they didn't have surveillance, it would have been bad. Okay? They were going to blow up Amazon. All right, and what the hell is that going to do? All right, blowing up one Amazon. Okay, nigga still is gonna have to come to work and deliver them packages. Okay, you know how Bezos get down. Nigga still gonna have to, nigga get it out the rubber, nigga. You know. So nah, man. The devil is telegraphing, man, and he's setting the stage, you know, to justify more technology for the sake of safety. All right, and to criminalize, okay, people for being what they call anti-government. Okay, so these news reports are just setting the stage, man. Because let's go here. Let's go here, man. Because in that same chapter in Revelation 12, and we'll segue to another video. You know how Bezos get down. He don't give a damn. Bezos talking about putting niggas in diapers, the pens, nigga. Some Amazon truck drive through the graveyard, because it was shorter. I said, God damn. You know? Revelation 12 and 17, it says, so the dragon was enraged with the woman. All right. And the woman being Israel, and the dragon, all right, being what? This new Roman Empire. Okay. The deadly wound, okay, that was healed. Okay. Has been revived. The Greco-Roman Empire, this dragon has been revived in the earth as America, NATO, and the EU. Okay. And that woman is Israel, going back to the enmity, you know, between what? The serpent and the woman, going back to the garden. Okay. Because the woman represents Israel. And he went off to wage war on the rest of her children, those who keep and obey, all right, the descendants of Israel, the seed of Israel. All right. And you have the remnant, okay, that has been awakened. Okay. And back to righteousness, man. Calling on our power, separate from this world, all right, preaching the downfall, okay, which makes us a target. You see, but the Lord got this thing mapped out, you know, just like he baited Pharaoh, you know, because if Pharaoh thought he had us, you know, we was right there at the Red Sea with nowhere to go, or the Gulf of Suez, Salaki. You know, or we was right there by the water, you know, nowhere to go. Okay, and the Lord made a way. You see, it said those who keep and obey the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, holding firmly to it and bearing witness to him. Okay, so we know that this devil wants to wage all our war on this truth, man. Okay, so he's setting the stage. All right. So we're seeing things happening, okay, to where this devil, all right, is setting the stage, man. Okay. So let's let's go here. So let's play this, man, because all right, we know eventually war is going to happen. You see, and right now we're hearing what they call the rumors of wars. All right, which is all prophecy, man. Okay, so let's play this. Okay, then we'll segue again. You know, our brothers. So let's play this.
Overseas now to an ominous declaration by Iran, that country's president saying it's at, quote, total war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. So let's bring in ABC's Marcus Moore. And Marcus, the Iranian president, also says he wants to strengthen ties with Hamas.
Yeah, and Mary, while this wasn't Iran's supreme leader saying this was still a concerning statement from Iran's president, who's quoted as saying, "We are in a full-scale war with America, Israel, and Europe. They do not want our country to stand on its feet." And this is notable for a couple of reasons. Certainly the timing. It comes just before Prime Minister Netanyahu is set to meet with President Trump tomorrow, and it follows that unprecedented military action over the summer when Israel and the United States coordinated to attack Iran's nuclear program. So a lot could come from tomorrow's meeting, not only on the Iran issue, but also efforts to move to phase 2 of the ceasefire in Gaza. So as this meeting nears and the new year approaches, Mary, it is certainly clear that tensions remain high in the region.
They certainly do, Marcus. Thank you.
All right, so I think there is something big going on, more than I told about in that last International Post. Somebody had mentioned, hey, Iran has said they're at war with the West. And so, of course, being the person that I am on this app, I did have to go fact check because I don't want to say something that's untrue. So I went out and I was looking at international newspapers. Now, I will tell you that, like, the European news stations and the Israeli news stations
Oh, Salaki. Yeah, so yeah, I forgot I had muted. Yeah, so just to make the point, you know, they're still pushing the narrative of Iran proclaiming, to be at war against the West. Well, of course, they're at war with the West, man. Okay, that's no news flash. Okay, they shot missiles on each other. Okay, Iran, America put sanctions on Iran to cripple the economy, to try to overthrow the government. Okay, America has killed, Iranian generals and scientists. Okay, hell yeah, they at war. Nigga done blew up pagers and cell phones. Okay, Iran has attacked Tel Aviv directly. So they've been at war. This is no new flash that Iran is at war with the West, man, because these small has been getting assistance from the West this whole time. Okay, so this is nothing new. All right, it's just a declaration of what's already understood. All right, but also you see America pushing it in the news so they can use this as, all right, having it, like I say, having a scapegoat. So it's fresh on the minds of the people that, okay, Iran has declared war. So when something happens, they can stage something and just blame on Iran. Okay, so it's just a stage being set, and see a lot of these people, what she gonna go on to say, how she felt she's been lied to. Yes, all right, Trump lied to everybody. Okay, the left and the right. You see, so let's play this some more, and if a brother could get that in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, and also let's get that in the book of Jeremiah. I want to say, is it? I think Jeremiah 51 and let's get Jeremiah 51 and 46, Baba Kasha. Okay, so let this play out.
Stations are not saying this, but the Iranian news stations are. They have declared war on the West, which is Europe, Israel, and the United States. That has happened today. I also know the peace talks aren't going all that well, at least not from what I hear around Ukraine. But I read in the BBC that there was a notable increase in Iran of execution-style unalivings. And I sort of skimmed the article. I didn't dig into it real deep, so I don't know who they were blaming. But it appears that we have a conflict there. We have a conflict in Nigeria, and we have a conflict in Venezuela, and he is not brokering so far a peace deal in Ukraine. So we have a lot of conflict going on in the world right now. And, the guy doesn't tell the truth. And we all know that. He told us he wanted to get us out of wars. And here we are in 4 big conflicts all at once. And then I'm seeing in the news from China that they've put sanctions on certain vendors, and they're not selling to certain military vendors for us and certain CEOs. There seems to be a lot going on in this world right now that seems a little unbalanced. And I think we need to pay closer attention and look outside our news cycle that's in the US.
Yeah, so this guy, Trump, said he was going to be the president of peace. Okay, and he got into the White House and bombed everybody, man. Okay, Nigeria, that nigga bombed Nigeria the other day, man. Okay, so it was a Christmas gift to Nigeria. Okay, Venezuela, all right, and these small hats, they even bombed Qatar, which Qatar hosts one of the biggest American military bases in the region, man. So he just all over because he has a lot to do in a short amount of time, man. Okay, you look at this devil and it's like, trying to do everything at once. Okay, so you got this war going on. All right, you got that war going on. You got, the data centers. Okay, he still on. He got to get them set up. He got to get surveillance cameras put in. He need to persecute the prophets, man. This man has a hell of a checklist that he got to do, man. Okay, so prepare for this man to get frustrated and spaz out. Okay, so you go here. It's the brother Damawakia. All right, GMS in his likeness. 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, so we know, all right, that this devil is setting the stage up for something, and he needs to make a major shift. He needs, because hey, he's behind the clock, man. All the shit that he need to do, okay. This man is got his hands full, man. You know, he's moving like a man that has his hands full. Okay, and then they put these old ass leaders, okay, as the puppet. You know, Biden, then Trump. Okay, you can tell Trump look wore down, man. Okay, they got this nigga all over the place, man. You see, because the elites are pushing so much through this nigga, man. All right, so let's go here. There's another one from the brother GMS in his likeness, the brother Damawakia, GMS Orlando, Jeremiah 51:46. It says, at least your heart faint and ye fear for the rumor, okay, that shall be heard, okay, in the land. It says a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, all right, in another year, you see, come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Yeah, so we're going to constantly hear about these rumors and, you know, troop movements and, you know, particular things. We're going to constantly hear about these things till it's going to be actual war. You know, so we follow these things, okay, as watchmen, you see. But there's going to always be these circulating stories until the actual war pop off, man. Okay, but if Iran, you know, it is, like she said, was, you know, executing, okay, within the ranks, man, they getting out all them suspected spies, man. You know, so that could be an indicator, all right, that they are preparing for something. And then Trump and then Yahoo, I think they supposed to meet today. You know, I want to say supposed to meet today, but this week for sure. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day. Okay, but they're supposed to meet, so it's gonna be interesting what's gonna come out of that. You know, so hey, 2026, man. You know, hey, it's looking like, you know, hey, it's looking like the stage is set for a major shift, man. It's looking like it's gonna be real eventful in 2026. You know, Lord will, all right, because the scriptures say our salvation draweth nigh. Okay, so let's go from there. I want to segue and go here. Let's go here to, I say the devil, he has a lot to try to pull off, man. Okay, and like I say, you look at Trump, man, he looks worn down. Okay, like his eyes not even open, you know, when he's speaking, man. Okay, because the elites, okay, are running a lot through this devil, man. You know, like I say, you got the Russian-Ukraine conflict, Iran and small hats. Now he's in Venezuela, you know, Nigeria, all right, the ICE back at home, you know, the ICE agents, okay. Now the data centers and trying to, you know, harvest enough energy for the data centers. And you see, there's a lot on this devil, man. Okay, so let's play this.
So we're at the 6G now.
So this is dealing with the 6G, okay, which 6G, they said that's the speed they need to, all right, because they put all these cameras in real time. They're going to need, all right, quick, okay, response, okay, because you got the cameras gonna be sending footage back to the data centers. Okay, so they need 6G or higher. All right, so they can have this real time. So he's trying to be the most high. All right, and he's running himself raggedy, man. Look at this nigga, man. Okay.
I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is? I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not gonna. But I tell you, it's so it's the 6 is coming, huh?
It's coming.
Does it ever end? And what happens? You'll be into 7, right? Before 6 gets old, you'll be into 7. Does that to give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? Does that to give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin?
This is the Hive Mind Nation channel. Welcome to today's show. How is that for a Freudian slip? Donald Trump discussing moving forward with 6G and even admitting that 6G, which is the human augmentation biodigital convergence, the mixing of man, machine, computer, and AI, how it will enable Big Brother to see under your skin. Of course, laughing it off, using humor. Even the articles that were out there after the story of him announcing 6G were trying to pedal away from what he actually said and make it seem like he's a delusional old man. Articles like Trump bizarrely links 6G to camera tech and confusing remarks on next-gen networks. Grandpa Trump struggles to get his head around 6G. No, what he said was 100% truth, and they laugh it off and dismiss this stuff because the truth is always in plain sight. And they know that the majority, or I should say all of the citizens in this country won't have the slightest clue about what's coming forward with the 6G biodigital convergence. And what we're talking about is metabolic energy harvesting, biofield hijacking, mRNA, immunosuppression. What we're talking about here is the Internet of Bodies. And what they won't tell you about 6G is how they're going to lean on terahertz waves, terahertz frequencies. And these frequencies go deep, so deep that it'll allow them to actually see under your skin. And I will get into the wearable technology and the Neuralink brain-computer interfaces in a few minutes so that people out there have a better understanding about what is actually coming, because the majority of the population think that 5G, 6G, that it's just going to allow them, because this is what they tell them and they believe.
Yeah, man. So this 6G, is just another phase, okay, of what? Digital public infrastructure. Okay, because they have to set up, the actual, cameras. Okay, they have to set up, these data centers. All right, and this 6G, okay, is the speed and the power, all right, that they need, okay, to process this data, man. Okay, so they're constantly setting up the infrastructure. This is what, okay, Trump has been on, man, the whole time. And you look in this, in the interview, man, and he just looks terrible, man. He looks like someone trying to stay asleep on the road. Trying to stay awake from falling asleep on the road, man.
Freudian slip.
So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little.
Yeah, man. Eyes barely open, man. Running this nigga raggedy, man. Okay, Esau not chilling trying to pull this off, man. He's running himself raggedy, man. The scripture say, well, he's wearied in his counsel. Okay, catching hell trying to pull all this off, man. But the Lord got him hardened to where he tapped in. Okay, yep. So I'm gonna fast forward it, because going back, not only will this see here going to link you to, all right, this devil's infrastructure, but it leaks you into an ideology of rebellion against the Most High. Now, these some old clips from this devil. All right, Noah Yuval Harari. All right, but this is the ideology. All right, that the C hip, okay, is going to link people to. You see, and that's why the punishment is so severe, because this is a complete rebellion against Yahweh Bashim al-Shai. What this devil is trying to do, he's trying to do too much, man. All right, as the Most High has given these other nations, rulerships, in the earth. All right, he never gave them the authority to go under people's skin and put technology in people. Okay, this is way off, man, and this is a rebellion like no other. Okay, so let's play this.
Has always been to be under your skin.
COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin, their body temperature. Like we walked in here, we had to go through a body temperature test. Well, I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. The biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin, this is the biggest game changer of all.
You have probably seen headlines, but this isn't just news to my life, Ukraine.
With this kind of surveillance, you watch the big president, the big leader, gives a speech on television. The television could be monitoring you and knowing whether you're angry or not, just by analyzing the cues, the biological cues coming from your body. So people are now watching us online, all over the world, this conversation. Now, maybe even right now, the people who are watching us are being watched and analyzed. And the thing is, it's not just you're now watching this. The thing is, we know that you're watching this, and we also know how you feel. Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. When Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped their hand and smiled. Now, how do you know what they really think about Stalin? It's very difficult. You can't have a KGB agent following everybody all the time. Even if you do it, he's just watching your outside behavior. He doesn't really know what's happening in your mind. But in 10 years, the future Stalins of the 21st century, they could be watching the minds, the brains of all the population all the time. And also they will have the computing power to analyze all that. It's not just having an agent following everybody all the time. The agent in Stalin's days writes a paper report, and you have these millions of paper reports piling up in Moscow. Somebody needs to read them, to analyze them. That's impossible. Now you don't need human agents. You don't need human analyzers. You just have a lot of sensors and an AI which analyzes it, and that's it. You have the worst totalitarian regime in history. And COVID is important because COVID legitimizes some of the crucial steps, even in democratic countries.
The really big thing is hacking human beings. To hack human beings, you need a lot of biological knowledge, a lot of computing power, and especially a lot of data. If you have enough data about me and enough computing power and biological knowledge, you can hack my body, my brain, my life. You can reach a point when you know me better than I know myself. And once you reach that point, and we are very close to that point, then democracy, the free market, as we have, and actually all political systems, also authoritarian regimes, we have no idea what happens once you pass that point. Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough. And nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. Data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. And if indeed we succeed in hacking and engineering life, this will be not just the greatest revolution in the history of humanity. This will be the greatest revolution in biology since the very beginning of life 4 billion years ago. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed in the basic rules of the game of life. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biology.
Now, there's no such thing as 4 billion years. Okay? And that's the madness they throw out to try to justify, all these philosophies that they have out. Okay, that's off. And this is nothing but an anti-Messiah, philosophy, man. All right? And this is the devil. This is how they think. See, he's just a mouthpiece of how the elites think. Okay? That they're going to re-engineer existence, man, to their liking. Okay? That they're going to hack the creation of the Most High. Okay? And engineer to their liking. Okay? And just ride off in the sunset. Nah, man, this devil finna lose. Okay? But in his mind, he thinks that he's a few steps away from just hijacking humanity. Okay? Hijacking creation. Okay? And re-engineering it to his liking. Okay? And like I say, this devil is the mouthpiece of how the elites think, man. And he's a moat. Here it is. He has all this wisdom. Okay? He's supposed to be so enlightened and so intelligent. Okay? But he's a moat. He don't even know as a man, you're supposed to be into women. Okay? The reasoning of men, all right, the trial of a man is in his reasoning. Okay? So a nigga that doesn't even know he's supposed to deal with a woman, all right, shouldn't be able to tell us any goddamn thing, man. You see, but these are the people that want to re-engineer the earth, man. Okay? Through their technology. You see?
Biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds. Science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. So after 4 billion years of...
And this is the bullshit he was telling Eve. You know? This is that bullshit that the serpent was telling Eve, man. As if the Most High was restraining her. All right? Because what is he saying? See, this is the first time life is going to go beyond the organic and go into the inorganic. Life is not going to be confined. Okay? So he's pushing this message of transcending, man. When everything has digressed under this man's rulership, man. Okay? Everything is completely backwards. Okay? People have become much worse in this man's rulership, man. But he's hops on stage, okay, with a laptop, okay, and some alkaline water, and now this nigga got the way. Okay? Nah, man, you stunk up the field, man. Okay, your rulership has been the worst ever. But now you're going to outdo the Most High. This is what this devil is saying, and that's why you Israelites that take that sea hill, this is the doctrine that you're agreeing with. You take that sea hill, you're in full agreement to this doctrine, man, which is anti-Messiah. That's why there's no coming back from that. That's why you're going to get the wrath of the Most High without mixture, man. Okay, you're going to feel a pain that can't even be imagined. Okay?
Organic life shaped by natural selection, we are entering the era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design. So does the data about my DNA, my brain, my body, my life, does it belong to me or to some corporation or to the government or perhaps to the human collective? Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
That's over.
Over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Yeah, I mean, everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So let's do it.
Vaccine won't help us go
the
to
vaccine
the test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, you know, more manageable.
Surveillance, people could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century.
This is what the devil is on, man. You know? So he had a short time to pull this off, man. So, like he said, well, because he kept saying, you know, that the lockdowns, the demic, okay, the crisis of 2020, okay, allowed them to make a big leap towards, all right, the digital system. Okay, so going into 2026, all right, hey, it's not far-fetched that this devil can have something up his sleeve, all right, so they can take this thing to the next phase, all right. And me just speaking as a man, I'm thinking it's them surveillance cameras, because he can build the data centers. You know, he doesn't. You know, they crying about him, but you know, he can just throw up a data center. You see, but with these cameras, this is going to be something that, all right, something's going to have to happen to shift the minds of people to be okay with all these cameras going up. Okay, So you can see some events that happen, you know, and he can blame it on lack of, you know, surveillance. Okay, and start throwing these cameras up. You know, and just at me speculating as a man, you know, it could go a lot of different ways, you see. But yeah, let's go here. Yep. Let's get a few more. Get ready to close out. So yeah, let's go. Let's go here to the book of Ezekiel 28. Okay, and 6. I want to read this in the AMP. So you go to Ezekiel 28 and 6 in the AMP. All right. And there's no doubt that this is speaking of Esau in this time. All right. It said, therefore, thus said the Lord power, because you have imagined your mind to be like the mind of the Most High, having thoughts and plans like the Most High himself. Okay. Trying to know what everybody is thinking at the same. He want to do this in real time, to know what everybody's thinking in every moment. Okay. Then to be able to modify their thinking. Okay. So he's making himself as if he's equal to the Most High. That through his technology, he's going to make himself equal to the Most High. Man, that's the Most High's jurisdiction. And Esau, like, I can tap into that. Okay? But nah, man, this man is finna lose. Okay? That's why you got here. And we'll end it with this one from the brother. It's the brother GMS in his likeness, Job 4:12. It says, look on everyone that is proud and bring him low. Okay? And tread down the wicked in their place, hide them in the dust together, and bind, all right, their faces in secret, man. Okay? Because you devils right now, you're all over the place and you're just free, you know, to do your wickedness in the earth. Nah, man, you finna be brought low. Okay, and it says that and hide them in the dust, which is confusion, and also a place of shame. Okay, and it represents the lowest you can go, because Esau's going to be the tail. And it says and bind their faces in secret. Yeah, because Esau just going to be working. Esau not going to be seen. Okay, Esau going to be working. Okay, he's going to be deep in these minds, and you know he's going to be, you know, unseen. All right, we just gonna know that this nigga working. Okay, but nah, Esau finna go from, you know, being exalted, and you know the world has to listen to this nigga and deal with this nigga policies and changes, and to this nigga just being the laborer of the earth, man. You know, him along with the rest of the nations. Okay, but he's gonna have the worst of it. Okay, and he's gonna be, all right, unseen. You know, it's gonna be like, where is this nigga? This nigga working. Okay, we just gonna know this nigga working, man. All right, and everything that this devil is trying to set up, that's the guilt, that's the blessing of the sons of God, man. Okay, that's why we the sons of God. We're gonna be like the Most High, man. It ain't meant for you to be like the Most High, nigga. Okay, you're an Edomite, all right, a reject, all right, and the Lord finna reject this shit that you done trying to build up. All right, the Lord getting ready to reject it. Okay, and burn it. All right, and this, you know, disintegrate this thing, man. You see, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters, will edify once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards your brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.